What's up, guys? It has been with Ben's election predictions, and today I want to focus this video on Trump's pick of JD Vance as his vice president and what impact that I think it will have on the 2024 presidential election. So, Trump chose JD Vance as his VP pick almost 2 weeks ago now. So we have some time to see kind of what the media reaction has been towards him. What people are saying on social media, what the op-ed um, or what the oppo research has been on him. And I was frankly a little bit surprised at the JD Vance pick. I think out of all kind of the finalists, between Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, maybe even Tim Scott, I did think he was the weakest candidate. But the point I want to make overall in this video that is that I don't think that vice presidential candidates matter. I had the race being around here beforehand, and obviously we had a switch in who the Democratic candidate was. Um, Kamala Harris has replaced, but I think whether you have JD Vance on the ticket or Marco Rubio or Doug Burgum, I think it probably ends up being like this. However, what's been in the news kind of in the last week or so is whether JD Vance might negatively hurt the ticket. So I do think that a lot of this noise, a lot of what's kind of getting through on social media probably won't get through to the average voter. So I think a little bit of this is online, but I do think there are some genuine questions about whether JD Vance was the right pick. I honestly do think that if Trump picked someone like Nikki Haley, like could you flip maybe some states like I don't know, like maybe Michigan and could go towards the Republicans, and maybe you solidify Georgia some more, or Nevada, or Arizona and the Phoenix, Atlanta, or Detroit suburbs. I mean, I think these are some open questions, but let's kind of dive into what people are saying about JD Vance, and what my opinion is, or is going to be on his actual impact on the race. So I think this is an interesting point that people are saying that Vance's nomination came at the peak of the party's confidence about the 2024 elections, which polls suggest was shaping up to be a potential landslide. So this is absolutely true. When we look at when the Republican National Convention was, it was right before Biden dropped out, when we had Trump at around a 3 percentage point lead over Biden, when just about a month before it was less than 1%. So and we had this post debate, we had this post assassination attempt, coming into the RNC, when Biden's looking very weak and there's a lot of party infighting. The Republicans were like riding high. So a lot of people see the JD Vance pick as a doubling down on the MAGA movement, like picking a Trump 2.0, not even trying to maybe appeal to some of the more moderate voters, or kind of balancing out the ticket. And I think there was also this idea that JD Vance is very good on TV, which I will admit to, and he'll be an effective debater against someone like Kamala Harris. Obviously everything changed, and a lot of people think that if Kamala Harris were the president, if Joe Biden had stepped down before and said that he wasn't running for re-election before, would have this changed the calculus of who Trump picked? And I think very, very much yes. I think there was some overconfidence maybe, and the Trump campaign didn't think that they needed to select someone who might be seen as someone like a little bit more moderate, maybe not as MAGA-y, maybe someone who, wasn't seen as much as being kind of this, like very loyal, very, someone that maybe had a bigger background in politics, like Marco Rubio or Doug Burgum, or, even though Trump would probably never have done this and wouldn't have liked to do this, I do think someone like Nikki Haley would have been a good choice. And there is reporting that his sons Don Jr. and Eric Trump just had a very good personal relationship with JD Vance, and that has what swayed it. I also think that Glenn Youngkin, I frankly do think that he could have moved the needle and say it's like for Virginia, maybe made it a tilt state where where both campaigns have to put money in and maybe waste their time. Maybe it could have flipped Michigan and shore up states like Georgia and whatnot. But I don't think JD Vance moves the needle at all in these states, and it could hurt him on the margins just slightly. But I do think there's a little bit of overreaction here. JD Vance did underperform in his Ohio Senate bid in 2022, which was, during what was supposed to be a red wave. To be fair, his Democratic opponent, was very strong. But, this is to say that Trump won by 8 points, and then JD Vance won by 6 points, and what was supposed to be a favorable year to the Republicans. So, I think JD Vance is smart. He's competent. He does have a compelling backstory with hillbilly elegy, but I do think his hardline views on abortion could be an issue. But I think mainly it's just like his kind of weirdness, this childless cat lady's comment, some of his rhetoric post assassination attempt, I don't think appeals necessarily to the moderate voter. And I think Trump is really moderating himself on abortion, so he'll be able to neutralize some of the potential negative impact that JD Vance could have on the ticket. But we already see that JD Vance, has broken the record on being the most negatively perceived VP candidate in history. And this isn't good. I mean, I really don't think it'll have a big impact, but even just having these news articles come out, there's even been speculation that you know, Trump might drop JD Vance just because of how his rollout in the first two weeks, how poorly that has been. I don't think that will happen, and Anthony Scaramucci, who was kicked out at 11 days, definitely has an axe to grind. I don't think JD Vance will ever abandon Trump. I think he will stay loyal to him, and there won't be a moment probably like there was with Mike Pence, because despite all of JD Vance's perceived flaws, he is going to be very loyal, and you know I just think there were a lot of better options that weren't chosen, but I don't think that it will be catastrophic. I do think Kamala Harris, VP choice, if she chooses Josh Shapiro, will help in the home state of Pennsylvania. And I think that was the idea of choosing JD Vance, is that he's going to appeal to the Rust Belt. But I frankly don't think that he's going to appeal to the Rust Belt any more than someone like Marco Rubio or Doug Burgum would have. So Trump might be kicking himself that he should have chose Doug Burgum, but I really don't think it matters. People are going to vote for who's on top of the ticket. No matter who Trump chose as VP, except maybe Nikki Haley or Glenn Youngkin. I think Trump is just such a defined figure that it really won't have it really wouldn't have had much of an effect either way. But please let me know what y'all think in the comments. I mean, do you think that Republicans are expressing buyer's remorse over the Vance VP pick? Do you think he was the best pick? And what impact do you think this will have on the race writ large? Thank you all so much for watching the videos. Please like, subscribe, and comment and share this with your friends. And thank you all for watching.